Hello, hockey fans. Austin here with today's day after discussion. Though this isn't your typical day after discussion, this is more or less a news update regarding the health of Zach Hyman and also discussing what the potential lines could look like now that he is confirmed to be out for the rest of the postseason. I was very concerned during the live stream last night the way Hyman was hit, the way he went off the ice immediately, and then when he was announced that he would not return to the game, that's, I think, when we all collectively knew that the injury situation was probably not good, and Hyman's season is now confirmed to be done. If you take a look, Zach Hyman will undergo surgery on an upper body injury per Chris Knobloch. He's expected to miss the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And for Zach Hyman and the Edmonton Oilers, this is such a massive blow to the team. Zach Hyman, he leads the team in hits. He's an offensive driver with Connor McDavid. He plays on the penalty kill and on the power play, and his loss is a huge hole to fill in this lineup. However, there are reasons to still remain optimistic. And if you end up enjoying today's video, just hit that like button. We'll spread that positivity and optimism as much as we can. But I put out a tweet after finding out this news. I think the Oilers are going to get the job done tomorrow against the Dallas Stars. They are going to play for Hyman. The way Hyman plays, it's all heart, right? He is like a, I always compare Zach Hyman's heart and soul to the team the way Ryan Smith was when I was a kid. The way I watched Ryan Smith play and the way Zach Hyman plays, they're not similar in their play style. Zach Hyman is obviously a better player, but the way they played the game and how much heart they have, what they bring to their team, and how much their team loves and adores those players and how much the fans love them too. Zach Hyman is a heart and soul player, just like Ryan Smith was. Now, I put out a tweet. I said, Ekholm is going to be back soon. Connor Brown will be back. They just had Arvidsson return to the lineup. They have Jeff Skinner, Noah Philp, and Matt Savoy waiting on the sidelines if called upon. Stu is cooking, and the defensive group in front of Stu has looked phenomenal. We can do this. I have no doubt in my mind that the Edmonton Oilers can get the job done tomorrow. Absolutely no doubt in my mind. This is a next man up mentality. They have been through this all season long. They have had to have guys step up all season long. This team is resilient. They have dealt with injuries this year. They have dealt with, I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for now. Gosh darn it, brain. Love this thing. Doesn't always work. But they've dealt with a lot of things where a lot of teams would fold, but the Oilers are a team that does not fold. They are going to be playing with so much heart and effort tomorrow. And if you look at how the Oilers played after that first period without Hyman last night, the way they adjusted that second period, the game started to shift as long as they stay out of the box. At 5-on-5, the Oilers started to control play. And in the third period, textbook, just clinical, a clinical third period. Dallas only had 4 shots on goal in the entire third period last night. The Oilers can and will find a way. Trust me, their top guns are going to get the job done as well. But what are the lineups going to look like? Are they going to go 11-7 if Ekholm is available? Are they going to insert Jeff Skinner into the lineup? Of course, you'll have to all let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. But the projected lineup here, now these lines, the forward lines, this is not even remotely confirmed how they're going to look. I just kind of put guys in different spots where I thought they'd be a fit. So this is not like an actual lineup. This is just without Hyman, the top line, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and of course, on the right side of McDavid, it is empty. You have Henrique, Draisaitl, and Evander Kane. I only put Henrique with Draisaitl in this little lineup card because last night in the third period, Henrique was getting shifts with Draisaitl, which I thought was very interesting. I'm not entirely against Henrique on the wing. Honestly, I think he might be more effective there instead of in the, a center position. On the third line, Perry, Janmark, and Arvidsson. And then the fourth line, Podkolzin, Frederick, and Kapanen. Now, they have a lot of versatility here. Victor Arvidsson played in the top 6 this season with Draisaitl. A lot of familiarity. He could move up the lineup. Evander Kane has a lot of familiarity with Connor McDavid. He could move up the lineup. Nuge could move down with Draisaitl. You have Perry that can play the top line as well. Podkolzin's had top 6 minutes. Trent Frederick is someone where I probably wouldn't put him in the top 6, but again, he's played top 6 in the past with the Bruins. He had a few shifts with McDavid and Draisaitl last night. He did not look very good though, so maybe we just keep Frederick away from the top 6. And Kapanen as well. He also has familiarity. They have a lot of forward options. Now, who is out of the lineup that they could insert. On the right side of the screen, we have Jeff Skinner, Noah Philp, and Matt Savoy. Now, for some reason, my gut is telling me they may insert Noah Philp for more center depth. That would allow Adam Henrique to move to the wing if they want to play a more structured defensive game. If they want Draisaitl to remain that shutdown line, they could play Henrique with Draisaitl. They could insert Noah Philp into the lineup somewhere, and he could be a fourth line center. That puts Frederic back on the wing, and there's lots of different options that you could do, right? You move someone up to the top line with McDavid. Of course, Jeff Skinner, if he gets into the lineup, again, that's a winger, so, you can put Skinner in the lineup. What I'm looking for here is a role, right? When we talked about Hyman, I talked about him being on the power play. He's on the penalty kill. He's instrumental 5-on-5. He is a role player and his physicality. So how do you replace all that? How do you replace all that and also produce offense? So Noah Philp, to me, seems like the guy that Chris Knoblauch would probably lean towards. Whether it's fair or not to Jeff Skinner or Matt Savoy, obviously we all want to see Jeff Skinner be put into this lineup. I think Jeff Skinner would have a fire under his ass, and I think he would just be shot out of a cannon. And I have a good feeling if Skinner gets into the lineup once again, he will produce for the team. But Noah Philp, he can penalty kill. Now, he's not going to play power play, right? Corey Perry will take over that top unit, so you don't need to worry about the power play. Corey Perry even scored a power play goal last night, too. So Noah Philp, but he can penalty kill, and he is extra center depth. The team is struggling in the faceoff dot right now, and Noah Philp is also a physical player. Noah Philp is someone that does lay the body. He's a big body. He uses his size well. He has some NHL experience. They got looks at Noah Philp and Matt Savoy throughout the regular season. Not a huge sample size, but I felt Noah Philp's first call-up compared to his second call-up, he looked much better in his second call-up. He looked a lot more comfortable. It's a lot to ask of a young player to just be inserted into the playoffs, the most physical, demanding time of the year for a young player with very little NHL experience. Matt Savoy, unless there are several more injuries, is just not going to be in this lineup, I don't think. But Matt Savoy, what does he bring to the lineup if he were to be put in for Evander Kane, or not Evander Kane, oh my goodness, Zach Hyman. Jeez Louise, my brain, what is going on today? Matt Savoy, he is a speedy, skilled winger. He has finish. He's good in the corners. He can work the puck down low. He's good on the cycle. Him and Draisaitl had a little bit of chemistry going before he was eventually pulled from the lineup after the Oilers were really struggling back in February after that Four Nations break. But the Oilers have a ton of options. And of course, on defense, you have Mattias Ekholm, who is this close to returning. He could even play tomorrow night for the Oilers. Now, if Ekholm is in the lineup, maybe you just go 11-7. Maybe you play Stetcher up as a winger just to, get extra shifts. I think Troy Stetcher has been utilized in that position before. He can get a couple fourth line shifts. Troy Stetcher, I think, would be very effective in on the forecheck for this team. It is a massive loss for the Oilers, though. The way Zach Hyman plays, you can't replace that entirely. You will never replace what Zach Hyman brings to this team, but the Oilers can find a way. They are a resilient team. They've been through adversity. That's what I was looking for. Adversity. Earlier in the video, I was like, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Adversity. This is a team that has been here. They understand the job that needs to be done. McDavid and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins are going to lead this group to a win tomorrow. The Austin Hockey Guarantee, they are winning this series for Zach Hyman. I just know they're going to get the job done. And obviously moving forward, the rest of the playoffs, it's going to be a huge blow. There's going to be a lot of question marks how this team plays without him, and can they find a way to keep winning without him? I sure hope so. I think they can. They have good players. They have great forward depth, and whether they go 11-7 or they put in the likes of a Skinner or Noah Philp, the team is in a good spot. They all understand the job. They all have their roles. Chris Knoblauch, he pushes the right buttons. The defense has played good for the Oilers. Stu Skinner has been cooking, and this team is one win away from their second consecutive berth to the Stanley Cup final. But I need you all to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about the chances of Edmonton moving on in the series without Zach Hyman? What are their chances moving forward? Who would you put into the lineup? What would your lines look like? I love reading all of your comments, so I'm excited to see it all. I know a lot of people are going to ask me about the Marchment hit on Hyman and whether I think it was an egregious attempt to injure. I'm just going to go out here and say it right now. As an Oilers fan, I don't think there was an intent to injure. Now, people will point to Marchment's comments after game 2, where he implied that he may seek retribution for the injury to Roope Hintz. as a, potential, you know, when players say stuff like that, the way he said things after game 2, and then of course he happens to be on the end where a Oiler gets hurt, that always raises eyebrows. Now, this is playoff hockey. It is physical. Things happen. The way I see it personally, and I'm young, right? But I've been watching hockey for 27 years or so, 28 years. This is playoff hockey, and fluky injuries happen. I would consider this injury to Hyman as much as a fluke as Roope Hintz's injury to his ankle. How many times do we see guys get slashed in the leg and the ankle and the shin pad and nothing happens, right? Nobody ever gets hurt. Even Darnell Nurse looked so confused after he slashed Hintz. Like, he's just standing there like, hey, bro, are you okay? Like, why are you laying on the ice? That was a fluky play, in my opinion. However, the Dallas Stars have, they've been riding that line. The high hit on Connor Brown by Bischel. Again, I didn't think that was an intent to injure. It's a high hit. I didn't think point of contact was the head, but head contact was made. So, of course, you have to take a look at that under scrutiny as well because of the things that the Stars say when their number one center went down with injury. And then Marchment earlier in the postseason, if you look back in Game 6, against the Dallas Stars, Marchment threw a couple high hits where he's jumping into the hits, and the refs tell him, you can't jump into the hits. We're going to keep an eye on that. And Marchment is one of those players that elevates into hits. And I'm not going to say Hyman doesn't either. There's a lot of hits where Zach Hyman is jumping into players along the board. So again, this is playoff hockey. The NHL and just playing hockey in general is very strange. My injury was pretty similar to how Hyman got injured, a very fluky play. I was going to throw a hit when I was a kid playing. I was the first year of body contact. I was 11 or 12. And I remember I tucked my shoulder. I was going in for the hit, and the player that I was about to hit, he at the last second, he saw me coming, and he kind of gets his arms up and his stick contacted my arm in a weird spot, and it jammed it, and it broke my lower forearm right near where it connects with my wrist. These things that usually don't happen unfortunately happened, and they've been happening in this series. Multiple Oilers have been injured. You have Roope Hintz that's been injured on the Stars. It's just playoff hockey. I think it is fluke more than intent, and hopefully Hyman, the surgery goes well. Hopefully he is back for training camp. Of course, I have no doubt that he will be back and be very effective once he is, but it will not be for the rest of the summer. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, I appreciate all of your support. Subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. Let's get that big win tomorrow. Let's go.